Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. It's Peter Mingils here. It's Friday. It's January. What is today? Oh, my gosh. All the days are starting together. January 8th, believe it or not, 2021. It's our first Building Fortress radio show on a Friday at 5 p.m. for Ollie Cantos and his sons. So I think we have Nick here. We're going to kind of keep ourselves up to date on some of the things that might be happening with Nick. But just as I'm letting him kind of get settled in, because he just showed up, Ollie Cantos and I have been doing radio shows for a really, really long time. Nick is one of the sons, and Nick has been doing the radio shows when Ollie's not available. And I'm super excited to hear about what's going on with Nick, because I know he's starting his second half of his third year as a college student. We've been following him since the kids were 16. He's one of three triplets. And just overall a really good guy. So we're going to find out how his holidays went and what's happening with school and everything else that might be happening on Building Fortunes Radio. So let's see if we have Nick. Nick, you're coming in.
Hi, Peter. What's up?
Hey, thanks for being here live. We are live on Building Fortunes Radio. Your dad's not here. I have not spoken to your dad for a little bit. So I'm really not sure what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something as a result of you being here on your own radio show. So, first of all, how was your holiday, your New Year's, and are you back at school yet? That's three questions. Holidays like Christmas, New Year's, and then are you back at school?
Yeah, well, Christmas was awesome. It's always fun. I just enjoyed time with my people, my family, and things, and it's really cool. And of course, New Year's was always a fun time, especially because we always hope for something going right this next year, and this year is hopefully my year. So other than that, I'm not in college yet. Actually, we have one more week. Sunday is when we leave for college.
Okay.
So we're still kind of going through the process.
You guys are home in Virginia with your mom, right? Still?
Yes. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah.
And is your dad still in California?
Yeah, he'll be there probably till June.
Oh wow!
Because we don't leave college until May anyway.
Right.
So it wouldn't make sense for him to come here early. Not to mention the pandemic. We don't know how the pandemic is going to go and all this. And we don't know how the vaccine thing is going to go. We have no clue whatsoever. So, but there's no point in putting him at risk. So.
Absolutely. Well, that's very interesting. And then in reference to what's going on with the election and anything else that's going on, does that have any level of impact on what's going on with your school or with your dad and his job?
School, not really. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. They haven't really announced anything yet fully. At least not that I have to reset my phone, so I have to reset my email and log into the email address, and so for my school. So I haven't really checked that yet. But other than that, I really don't quite know. Though I'm sure my school has a pretty good plan. They had a great plan last semester, which is why it worked so well. We were able to make cases. We were able to make it so that the cases were incredibly low. Well, I think some of the lowest in college, for any college in Virginia. I mean, so pretty good stuff. I mean, we made it happen because the school next to us had like over 600 cases. I mean, it's crazy. So I mean, we were able to do it under such a crazy outbreak. So I'm sure that the school has a plan that makes sense. They already kind of talked about a little bit of a plan, but until I get an email and stuff, I don't necessarily know yet.
Now, okay, so I know that you may not know this question, but would the school give vaccinations, or would that be left to you guys individually, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. However, I'm optimistic because the thing about it is the school last semester gave everyone flu shots. So who knows? Like you never know if the school will actually give us the vaccine. So who knows? I mean, hopefully it happens. If not, we'll figure it out. But
right,
I'm sure either way I'm getting it. So that's all that matters to me.
Right. Now, in reference to your dad, with this change in administration, because your dad is working for the fine U.S. government, and I don't know anything about that stuff, is that subject to modification or change as well? Now, maybe different committees that he's on, probably, obviously, every new president has his own committees. But what about regular employment?
His employment's fine. He's stable employment and stuff. So I don't think worry about that. But other than that, I really don't know if I even can tell you certain things. I mean, I don't want to divulge information that is classified or whatever, or even if I have it, because I don't even have any to begin with. But that's just. I mean, my dad's pretty. I'll just say this: he's pretty important in both aisles. So it's good. I'll just say it's good for everyone. I'll just say that.
Good for him. Excellent. Okay, good. So, in reference to whatever topic you want to talk about today, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I mean, this is a new year. I mean, this is the time to really think about what you want, and especially when it comes to business, like things have definitely changed in the past year. I mean, it's incredible. We went from, basically doing office work to now. I mean, there are predictions that were made by some people that said that there will be now, in the next several years, permanent work from home jobs. I mean, it's already started. It's incredible. Jobs that some companies are considering taking down their, giving certain jobs complete work from home status so that they can save money. That's the first thing, of course, and then of course they want to, maybe if the job can be done from home, then great. This is going to cause an entire shift in the working market, I guess. Like I said, I'm young. I'm too young to understand all of it, but I understand certain things, and so there are definitely some predictions I've seen about the business world. Now, I'm not saying I'm a executive crazy person, nothing like that, but I do read up on that stuff because I'm very interested in it. I'm also interested in how it affects me personally. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully this year will be a new time for all of us to really recover, because this pandemic has caused unbelievable amounts of economic impact, and it's going to take a lot to recover. But we can do it. We're going to be able to do it, I'm sure.
Well, are we going to recover, or are we going to evolve? That would be part of my question. So recovering might mean like going back to normal, but I think there's going to be a lot of industries that just have to evolve. I would say that there would be both, because certain industries will need to evolve, like movie theaters. I've seen stuff about them, and they're talking about how nowadays you have new films that are having streaming services. They're being put on streaming services as well as movie theaters. So now the people who own movie theaters are going to have to work harder to get us into actually, why should we pay more to go to your theater when I can get a streaming service, the same movie on a streaming service? I mean, they're going to have to figure out how to make it a better experience, because it's pretty standard now, I'm sure. The experience there. You go in, you eat popcorn, you watch a movie. Now they have to make it better. Right. So part of the experience was the whole thing of almost like a date. So I remember we used to go on, for instance, with me, obviously if you're going to take a girl out, you might go on a date to either a dinner or a movie. It was usually a combination of both. So it was kind of like, it wasn't just the movie, it was the dating experience. I remember when my kids were growing up, we would have the equivalent of a date night. Once a week we would do something, and it might mean the equivalent of a movie and a dinner. And that's not just the movie. The movie was just the reason to go out and kind of coordinate and hang out, and the popcorn and the everything else like that, but all of those things are going to become modified. And if you want to stick with the evolution analogy, if you believe in the evolution analogy, there were some things that evolved, maybe they learned how to walk differently or talk differently, or their brain got bigger, or whatever, their shapes changed or their colors changed or their beak size changed, and then there's certain that actually went extinct. So movie theaters, do you think they're going to evolve, or do you think they're going to go extinct?
Like I said, I'm not really I can't necessarily say, because I'm not a movie theater owner, but I hopefully they don't go extinct, because it's an experience. I mean, I went on dates to movies and stuff, movie theaters and stuff. I've done it. So I understand the experience. I would hate to lose that. But they're gonna have to modify a lot of things. I mean, it's because they're gonna have to figure out how to they're gonna have to figure out how to adapt to different markets. How are you going to make things more entertaining? They have tickets like 4D, CD, and everything else. I don't know. There's so many things to think about.
Absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about stuff, because you're a younger gentleman. I'm not in the dating mode. Haven't been like that since I've been in my teens, so I'm like forever old now. How is the world for young people like yourself when it comes to socializing, like dating, hanging out, stuff like that? For me, it really hasn't changed that much. Because the school we go to is a pretty small school, so it's not really that difficult, because people, as long as you wear the mask and you keep the rules and stuff, you're good. I mean, there's no point in changing everything. I mean, because first off, we're young enough where and I've survived, so it's not really that bad for us. I'd say it's changed a little bit, and I'm sure it'll get back to. I mean, that's something that will recover. That I'm sure the evolution will be a little bit different. I'm sure it'll be more of a recovery than an evolution, but for now, I'd say we're in pretty good shape. I'm in pretty good shape socially, and because I have my friends on, I could talk to them and stuff, and of course I always have a phone calls and stuff. But I when I'm in college, when I'm in school, I just hang out with them with no problems. I mean, there's no point in worrying about that stuff, really. And when you guys hang out, you hang out wearing masks, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays we do. I mean, except when we're eating, but we my friends, we're very safe people. Like, my friends are athletes, so they understand the importance of keeping yourself in good shape, and so they do follow the rules to the best of their abilities. So we just try to hang out with each other, and we don't really think about that stuff, because there's no point in stressing ourselves out about something that we know the rules, we follow the rules. That's all that matters. At that point, if you stress yourself out about it, it's just going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So as far as other stuff related to what's going on with the adjustments that you have to make, are there any adjustments that are made as far as classroom in-person time versus outside of classroom time, or testing?
I don't
Oh, you
know
don't
how
know
it's
yet?
going to work this semester. This semester is going to be different, because I'm taking. So I'm just going to, just because it's fun to say. I'm taking 5 classes. I'm taking, actually, maybe 4, because one class was meant for the rugby team, and I'm not in rugby. So I'll be taking physical science, such as biology, chemistry, and physics, and physics. And then there's the intro to market and principles of marketing, digital marketing, and then another one called there's another one. Yes, mathematics, algebra. class. So I don't know how it's going to work necessarily. That's the thing with when you get a new schedule and you do stuff and you get a new classes. For me, one of the not hardest, but one of the crazy parts about doing this is figuring out how you're going to make things work. It's doubly it's a challenge, especially when there's a pandemic, because you don't know whether it's going to be hybrid or you're going to be going to class or how many days you're. It's one of those things that can really throw you off. It threw me off last semester because how do you do certain things when you can't, you don't go to class, so physically. It's one of those things, and I'm a little bit used to it now, but it's kind of a little different with certain classes, because some classes are more visual than others. So it just depends.
Right, and do you do classes on, by yourself on the computer, or you do classes in a pseudo group setting like through a Zoom meeting or anything else like that? How do they handle that?
Last semester we did Zoom meetings we did hybrid. So one day we'd go to class physically, and the other day we'd do it through Zoom meetings. And some classes weren't even Zoom meetings; they would just listen to the recording of the class, and that's it. So it just depends on the class. But I mean, of course, things could have changed. Like, for all I know, it could be full class, full physical class. Like my sophomore year. Like, who knows? I don't know how it's going to work. The school has a plan, and I'm definitely willing to go through it. So there we go. If I had more information, I would tell you, but I really don't.
Sure. Now, in reference to kids, I'm trying to think of myself when I was your age and then starting in school. I would have two very different issues. Number one, when I was staying at home, I'd have to worry about all the distractions of home. When I was at school, if I was in a dorm room and I had to do, and even though it was a virtual meeting or a virtual class, it was way different because I had different distractions. Are you or other people, or can you tell us about the distractions or how that kind of works out with different people? Because that's got to be something that's a considerable factor in relationship to this with today's day and age, if you know what I mean. So let's talk a little bit about distractions. Oh, and let's do this. Let me hold that thought, okay? So I'm going to let you think about distractions. Let's do our little commercial break while we still have some time. So we'll do our commercial break. We'll be right back, and then we'll talk back to Nick. Here we go.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized websites, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we're back. Peter Mingils here with Nick Cantos, and I kind of interrupted him for a little commercial break because I wanted him to be able to actually explain the next topic without being interrupted. So, Nick, we're talking about distractions and some of the things that are getting in the way, if you will, of the normal college experience. So back to you.
Well, it just depends on the person. This is one of those things where it really does depend on the person. I go to class and I do the best I can to pay attention in general, but sometimes it's not easy because sometimes you just don't you feel tired or whatever it is, and so I don't know. That's normal for anything really. I don't know exactly. I mean, I don't play on my phone during class because I'm paying for it, so I don't know exactly what you mean by distractions, but
well, if you had little brothers and little sisters running around and 3 dogs and 2 cats, and your mom was always interrupting you, because she wants you to take out the garage, you got a sick parent at home or something like that, those are all distractions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I go to school. Like, I go to class. I mean, I go to on campus.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure it's somewhat different. I mean, professors don't really mind too much as long as you meet your stuff. Like, when I first did online class, it was interesting, I guess. But I mean, my house is already very loud, so I had to mute myself unless I gave answers. So that's what I did. Some people. That's how they do it now. They just figure out a way to make it so that it's not as distracting to other people. It's just courtesy. I don't. It's basically it's the way we've adapted. We've adapted, I guess, and pretty quickly, I might add. I mean, we basically know how to make things work for us, and it's really interesting. As I personally thought we take a slower time to adapt, but oh no! Apparently, we can adapt very, very fast. So, I don't know. I'm just glad it worked out. Though actually, I prefer going to class. I don't really like online classes that much.
Yeah, I know me. I would have a really hard time with an online class. Like, I would have a really hard time. I don't think my brain doesn't work that way. Now, I say that now because maybe I've never done anything like that, but I would really have a hard time with my whole education be online. I need the classroom, even if I slept in class most of the time. So I know me, and I just think I need the social aspects of it as well. Being able to communicate with different people. The dialogues, the stuff that's not on the script, the topics that we might cover, the controversies sometimes we might have, the whole college experience. Those types of issues I think are going to be missing as a result of whatever's going on with this pandemic. But we'll see. If I were to describe 2020, it was the year of holy poop. We got to make some kind of an adjustment. And then I think a lot of people in 2020 were waiting for some magical day it would end and everything would just go back to normal. And that's not happening in 2021. Matter of fact, I think it's probably going to be maybe even more shocking because so many people are going to be having to make some changes and the government's not going to be able to bail out even in a little bit so many more people. So it'll be very interesting to see how this starts to shake out as people have to make some changes. So people have to evolve. If you're working if your business or your family or your mom or your dad had a job that was reliant on stuff before the pandemic, and now after a year, their income's down, their savings might be depleted, their job might have gone away or pretty soon gone away. They're pretty major changes. And it's not just like if there's just a few percentage of the population that's making the changes, it's easy to adjust when everybody's making the changes. It's harder to adjust because everybody's it's like musical chairs. Everybody's trying to sit down in the same chair. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. I know we're experiencing challenges and along many ways, and people being distracted, people moving around, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Our business is taking a real big hit. One of the reasons why we've had to adapt some and change some of the things that we do as well. I'm not talking about just the Building Fortune Radio. Building Fortune Radio, people always want to listen to internet radio. People always want to listen to content. I'm talking the other aspects of our business. So we picked up selling air filters that help kill COVID. We picked up selling business loans. We picked up doing a whole bunch of other things as well because we've had to. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Before we run out of time, why don't you tell us how to get in touch with you and tell us what you're doing with your home-based business as well.
So, well, thank you as well. We're still kind of building up. We're doing all right now, but we've already started actually going through the process of hiring someone to help us out, and it's very neat. It's very interesting to have a real. It's more real when you have someone to help you who isn't part of your family. I mean, it's so interesting, but I don't know. It makes me feel a little bit like it's really official. Like it's absolutely you went from family business to actual making a job, which is interesting.
Right. Well, if you're starting to expand in that area, now you have expenses, and more expenses. and more accountability and more systems you need to put in place. So how would people get in touch? How would people get in touch with you or your dad?
If you want to get in touch with my dad, his email address is Ollie, Ollie, Cantos, Cantos, @icloud.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at Nick Cantos 99 on Twitter, and I'm Nick Cantos on Facebook. So just let me know that you're part of Building Fortunes Radio audience, and I will friend you or follow you on Twitter. So thanks.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. Well, we're just about running out of time. Got about a minute or so. Nick, if you want to wrap it up, I'll let you wrap up the new year.
Well, I'm thanks for listening for these past several years. This is really awesome that you guys have followed me since I was 16. So thanks, and looking forward to a new awesome year full of great things, and hopefully we can start the evolution process or maybe the recovery process, depending on what we got to do. This just depends. So Thank you very much for listening.
You're welcome. Perfect. And we're going to catch everybody next week on Building Fortunes Radio. Tell everybody in your family we said hello, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that stuff, and we're going to catch you next time. Thanks, everyone.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.